Hello everyone, welcome back to Salted Hash. I'm your host Steve Reagan, coming to you live from RSA. This is day 2 for me, and as you can hear and see in the background, it's pretty busy, but we'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about deception technologies, and we're not going to hack back. We're actually going to do something a little different. There is a lot of this hype and maybe a little bit of FUD that goes into hackback technology. So I'm with Chris Roberts, Chief Security Architect for Calvio Technologies.
Yep.
And let's start with some easy stuff here. Most of the markets, and if you look around the show floor here, it's all about buying a bigger lock or a thicker door, or gating the windows. And while defense is great, there's not really enough paid attention to detection or anything like that. So what are some of the key points in deception technology that people are missing, like they don't really understand when it comes to that?
So I think the biggest thing is, to your point, everybody's building bigger walls, better walls, thicker defenses, but there's still a human at the keyboard.
Yep.
As an attacker, I can social engineer my way in, I can get you to click something, I can get you to go buy something. So all that stack of defenses from endpoint to 90% of the stuff that's out here is going to fail.
And then even worse, once those defenses fail, the other problem is, because detection is lacking, you've got adversaries on your network that literally they're there for months, days, weeks, and you don't know they're there. They're just lurking about. So without getting too product pitchy, how exactly is deception technology really working to fix that problem?
So the whole concept of deception technology is the simple assumption that somebody's already in your network, exactly as you said. From that point onwards, the whole idea is basically to act as a fisherman. So what can I put on a network? What can I be as an architecture, as a system that will attract an attacker? So as an attacker, I've landed on the first computer, somebody's clicked on something, I'm on it. My next job is to then survey, to look around, to say, okay, how can I escalate? How can I get privileges? How can I take the data and get it out of the system? As a defensive system, as basically deception technology, it's our job not just to put little pretty pictures out there because I'm looking too pretty, but also to put files out there, to have stuff on the wire, and to have something in there that as an attacker I'm going to be like, oh, that's what I want. So that's the role of a deception technology, is literally to camouflage itself inside an organization and be nothing more than the next hop or the next step that an attacker's going to take to try and get to where they need to get to.
So how does what you guys do differ from, say, just a well-designed honeypot?
I think the challenge with a well-designed honeypot is you have to spend a lot more time configuring it. Mm-hmm. So, and it isn't just us, we're bloody good at doing what we're doing, but the whole idea is to be able to drop the technology into an environment and have it learn what the environment is. So if you take the only Open Honey Nut project or a couple of the other ones like Canary and a few of the other ones, yep, they're really good, but they take a lot of configuration. So you take an enterprise organization that has maybe 500 live computers on one VLAN, and you want to put 500 other live systems on it. That's a hell of a lot of configuration you have to do. Take something like the we're building, you drop it in there. It has a level of intelligence to go, hey, you got 500 computers, you got a couple of hundred Windows, a couple of hundred Linux, and a bunch of Macs. Let me tell you what to deploy. By the way, here's some data that we're going to help deploy as well. By the way, you've got a mix of OpenFTP, SNMP, here's this, let's actually mix that up as well. So we'll put out maybe another 500 decoys in our architectures, and in those ones, we will mix and match everything. It's not going to be 500 all exactly the bloody same. That was the early days of the honeypots. I mean, it stood out like a frickin' beacon in the darkness. So the whole idea is to get away from that and literally camouflage much more accurately, both at a system level and then a data level as well.
So I had a dinner on Sunday with an executive who was considering deceptive technologies, and they were more researching, not like going out to buy. He'll have a badge later today that says not a decision maker, so that'll be a really good thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things they brought up though was, how do you separate the detection logs and the way deceptive technologies detect problems, potential problems, versus all the other logging that goes onto a network? How do you keep false flags from being generated back and forth.
So some of that's going to come down to tuning, obviously. Now the other thing is as well, from a deceptive, if I'm a regular user, I'm only going to use the shares that I see. Rarely am I going to go digging around the registry. Rarely am I going to go looking for spoof or hidden printers, and I'm sure as hell not going to connect up to a completely different domain controller. As an end user, that's not going to happen. If I train some of the baseline, okay, here's some of the normal false positives out, then at that point in time, anybody that does go and poke that fake printer or grab that fake file or go out and try and auth against another AD controller, that's not a false flag. That should go into a Splunk system, a QRadar system, or something else where you've got centralized logging and go, hey, you have somebody poking around that shouldn't be doing that. We had a case about a month or so ago, where one of our clients was like, hey, your deception technology is not working. And we're like, well, what's wrong? They're like, it keeps sending error logs into our system. We're like, what the hell's going on? They're like, oh, we've got a nice tied down network. They had Palo Alto's entire suite of tools in there. That wasn't alerting. Nothing was going on. It's like, oh, your system's broken. We're like, let's take a look at it. What we ended up doing is forensics on the computer, found out it had an exploit on there that hadn't been seen in the wild anywhere, and it was basically gathering a local intel and then pinging out to a couple of basically the network connections, in-band network connections. And we're like, yeah, you've had your asses handed to you. And they're like, oh, well, why didn't Palo Alto find it? Well, congratulations, welcome to a siloed system. So, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff we find, it isn't the false positives. It's actually somebody who's poking around. And if you've tuned it properly, no different than tuning a lot of the other event log monitoring systems like that, then you'll get rid of most of that data.
So then, to kind of wrap this up, going back to our original point, what are some myths or misconceptions people have about this type of technology for detection as a layer of defense?
I think so one of the biggest ones is that people are like, we're not mature enough for it. And that seems to be one of the biggest conceptions. Like, oh, we have to get everything else sorted out, then we'll put deception technology. I'm like, guys, that isn't going to work. You're going to spend the next 2 years rolling out endpoint, and then probably another 12 months rolling something else out. You're going to spend 3 years doing patching and logging. By the way, you've also got to get everything else. Why the hell don't you put something in place that sits inside and actually tells you what the hell's going on? That's the biggest one. It's like, oh no, we're not mature. No, get it in right at the beginning, and that way you know where to focus. That's one of the ones. I think the other one is basically that a lot of deception isn't tunable enough. In other words, oh, I have a varied environment and I've got stuff all over the place, or I've got a lot of ICS systems, I've got a lot of cameras, I've got a lot of stuff that isn't traditional. It's like, well, so do we. We have the ability to basically build all of those various different. You want a surveillance camera architecture? You want a deception for that? We got it covered. You want some of the ICS or the healthcare systems? We have that covered. So I think there's still that old tradition. It's like, it was the old HoneyNet projects. Yeah. It's like, oh, I can build a Windows computer and it can only be this type of Windows and it can only do this. No, we're a lot better than that. One of the other big ones, I think, is that ability to both camouflage effectively, and then also one of the biggest concerns a lot of companies have is like, oh God, now we have to put false data into this system in order to make it attractive. And we're like, no, we got that covered as well. One of the upsides about having a good, well-built intelligence automation system, and it's not AI, that somebody needs to be shot for that word. Big time shot. But at least something that can look at what you have and go, hey, I can pull from here, I can pull from here, I can adapt it, and now I can give you an entire set of data. That's the big difference.
So, where could people find out more about you if they wanted to look you up online? Where are you lurking about these days?
So I'm lurking about, obviously, still on Twitter as CyDragon1. I'm lurking fairly heavily on LinkedIn these days. There's a hell of a lot less trolls on LinkedIn. So I'm lurking about on LinkedIn as either Chris Roberts or CyDragon1. I'm here at these conferences. I'm at GERCON, I'm at Derby, I'm at BurrCon, I'm at Hacker Halted. Yeah, normal places.
The normal haunts, yeah. The normal haunts with your backwards keyboard so you can hack back. I'm Steve Reagan. This has been Salted Hash. We're coming to you from RSA in sunny, kind of cold San Francisco. But stay tuned. We're going to be filming episodes all week, so we'll be back next time with a brand new one. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.